My boyfriend and girlfriend want to date as a throuple. But I don't. Some people struggle to find one good relationship. Me. I accidentally ended up in two. Have a boyfriend. Have a girlfriend. And the crazy part, they're totally fine with it. In fact, they want to make it official. They want us to be a throuple. There's just one problem. It wasn't planned. I had been with Ethan for about a year. Solid, stable, sweet. The kind of guy who brings you coffee in the morning and actually listens when you talk. Then I met Lena. She was chaotic, intense, impossible to ignore. The kind of girl who walks into a room and owns it. We clicked instantly. And before I knew it, I was in love with both of them. For months, I thought I was gonna have to choose. I was ready for drama. Tears. Messy breakups. But when I finally told them the truth, they both just looked at each other. Then Ethan shrugged and said, "So, why not just be together? All three of us." Lena grinned. "Yeah, I'm down." "Excuse me." They were fine with it. More than fine. Excited. They started making plans. Talking about how this could actually work. And all I could think was, this isn't what I wanted. Why can't I just say yes? On paper it should be perfect. They get along. There's no jealousy. They actually like each other. But deep down, something feels off. I don't know why. I don't know what's stopping me. All I know is, I don't want this. So now what? I don't want to lose them. I don't want to hurt them. But I can't force myself into a situation that doesn't feel right. So I have to figure out, how do you break up with two people at the same time? And more importantly, how do you do it without losing them both? I found out my roommate secretly uses my sex toys. I thought living with a roommate would be normal. Split rent, occasional movie nights, borrowing a little milk here and there. Basic *T. But I never expected to wake up one day and realize she was secretly using my sex toys. And not just once. Look, it started when I noticed my favorite vibrator wasn't in the same spot. I always kept it in my nightstand drawer, neatly tucked away in a little box. One night I opened the drawer and the box was slightly out of place. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe I had just moved it without realizing. But then, I started noticing other things. One night I went to use it and dead battery, which was weird because I just charged it. Then it happened again, and again, until I realized I wasn't the one draining the battery. One afternoon I came home earlier than usual. As I walked past my roommate's room, I heard something. Soft buzzing sound. Froze. It was the exact same sound my vibrator makes. My heart dropped. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, still nothing. So I did what any normal person would do. I swung the door open. And there she was, spread out on her bed, using my F***king toy. The worst part. She didn't even look guilty. She just stared at me wide-eyed like a deer caught in headlights. Then she slowly turned it off and said, completely serious, "Oh, you're home early." Like that was the problem. I stood there stunned. Then I lost it. What the actual F***ck? She sat up calm as hell. Chill. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. You're F***ing my vibrator. She rolled her eyes. I clean it. I don't care. It's mine. I shrugged. You weren't using it. Like it was *king community remote control. I threw that vibrator in the trash immediately. I moved out a week later. She still didn't understand why I was mad. To this day, I wonder how many times she used my *T before I found out. And honestly, I don't even want to know.
I think I'm losing my mind. I don't know when it started. Maybe it was gradual, like a slow leak in my brain, one that I didn't notice until I was drowning in it. Or maybe it happened all at once, a switch flipping in my head, turning reality into something off. But now I can't tell what's real anymore. At first, it was small stuff. I'd put my phone down, turn away for 1 second, and it would be somewhere else. I'd hear my name whispered when I was home alone, I'd wake up in bed and find my lamp turned on, even though I swear I shut it off. Annoying but explainable, right? Then it got worse. The gaps in my memory. I started forgetting things. Entire conversations I had no memory of. Texts I apparently sent at 2 a.m. that I didn't recall typing. A bruise on my arm that I don't remember getting. One night, my best friend said, "You called me last night. You were crying." I stared at her. No, I didn't. She showed me her call log. It was there, a full 7-minute call. But in my mind, that call never happened. Then came the mirrors. I started feeling weird whenever I looked at my reflection, like it was too slow, like it blinked a second too late. One night, I walked past a mirror in my hallway, and I swear to God, I kept walking. My reflection, it stayed, and it watched me. I found a notebook on my desk last week. It was in my handwriting, but I didn't remember writing it. On the first page, there were only 4 words. Don't trust your memories. I flipped the page. The next one just said, "She knows you know." Who the F asterisk CK is she? Last night, I woke up to a scratching sound. Soft, slow, coming from inside my closet. I held my breath. It got louder. Then a whisper, "Let me out." I ran out of the room. But before I left, I caught a glimpse of my mirror, and my reflection was smiling. So what's happening to me? Maybe I'm just losing it. Maybe I'm sleepwalking. Maybe my mind is breaking apart, piece by piece. Or maybe I was never supposed to wake up.
I found out my boyfriend is my cousin. After 2 years of dating. Love isn't supposed to be this complicated. You meet someone, you fall for them, you imagine a future together. But what do you do when, after 2 years of being in love, you find out that your boyfriend is actually your cousin? Because that's exactly what happened to me. And now, I don't know whether to cry, throw up, or move to another country. I met Daniel at a party. We clicked instantly. Same humor, same music taste, same weird obsession with horror movies. We started dating a month later. And it was perfect. No drama, no red flags, just love. Or at least that's what I thought. It happened at a family gathering. I had been dating Daniel for 2 years, but he had never really met my extended family. One day, my mom dragged me to a huge family barbecue. I figured it would be a boring day full of relatives asking me when I'm getting married. Instead, I found out I was already dating family. We were standing in the backyard when an older woman spotted me. Her eyes went wide. "Oh my God, I haven't seen you since you were a baby." She pulled me into a hug like she knew me. Then she turned to Daniel and froze. "What's he doing here?" I frowned. This is my boyfriend." She looked at me, then at him, then back at me, and then she said the worst possible thing. "You know you two are cousins, right?" I laughed. Thought she was joking. Then my mom came over. "Oh, Daniel." And her face turned white. She pulled me aside and whispered, "Sweetie, he's Aunt Lisa's son." Which meant, he was my cousin. My actual blood-related first cousin. The worst part, Daniel had no idea either. We both just stood there, horrified. We had kissed, slept together, talked about getting married. And now, I found out my future husband was my cousin. Straight out of King soap opera. We left the barbecue in dead silence. Neither of us could look at each other. That night, Daniel finally said, "Oh, I guess we have to break up." And I just stared at him. Because what the hell else were we supposed to do? Throw a wedding and invite the whole damn family? We broke up the next day. I had to explain to my friends why I was crying over family drama. My mom still hasn't stopped laughing about it. And now, every time I date someone new, I make damn sure to check their family tree first. I became an escort. And it ruined my life. I didn't plan on becoming an escort. It wasn't some grand decision I made after weighing the risks. Just happened. And at first, felt like the best choice I ever made. Until little by little it started destroying me. I was broke as hell. Rent was overdue, bills piling up. My bank account was so empty it echoed. Then one night, over drinks, my friend said, "You're hot. You know guys would pay for your time, right?" I laughed. Then she showed me her bank statements. $2,000 for dinner, $5,000 for a weekend trip, $10,000 in gifts. And suddenly, didn't seem so crazy. The first guy was easy. Some businessman, older, polite. All he wanted was company. Dinner, flirting, a few drinks. No touching, no sex. And by the end of the night, I walked away with $1,500. That's when I realized I could get used to this. First, I made rules for myself. No sex, no overnight stays, no clients more than once. I thought I was in control. I thought I could keep this separate from my real life. But money has a way of changing you. And soon, the rules didn't matter. It was the third guy. A big-name politician. Rich, powerful, married. At dinner, he leaned in and said, $10,000 for the night. I hesitated. Then I thought about my bills, my debt, my future. And I said yes. That was the night I learned. Once you say yes once, it gets easier. I told my family I had a good job. I told my friends I was traveling for work. I told myself I was fine. But the more money I made, the more I felt like I didn't exist anymore. Like I was just a product. Something men bought, used, and discarded. One of my regular clients was obsessed with me. I thought it was harmless. Until one night I got home and found a gift on my doorstep. It was a photo of me sleeping, taken from inside my apartment, with a note that said, "You're mine now." That was the night I knew. I had to get the F***ck out. I changed my number, moved to a new city, deleted every trace of my old life. But you can't delete yourself. Even now, when I close my eyes, I still hear their voices. I still feel their hands. And no amount of money was worth losing who I was. Fast money isn't free money. And once you sell yourself, you might never get yourself back.
I'm living two different lives. By day, I'm one person. By night, I'm someone else. And sometimes, I don't even know which one is real anymore. In one life, I'm normal. I wake up, go to work, smile at my coworkers. I text my friends, pay my bills, scroll through social media like everyone else. I'm stable, safe, predictable. But in my other life, I do things I shouldn't be doing. I go places I shouldn't be in. I meet people I shouldn't know. And the scariest part? I don't know which version of me is the real one. It started small. Waking up in places I didn't remember going to. Finding texts on my phone that I never sent. People recognizing me when I had no idea who they were. One day, a barista smiled at me and said, "Back so soon." I had never been there before. Or at least, I didn't think I had. Then came the blackouts. I'd be driving home, and suddenly it's 3 hours later. Or I'd go to sleep and wake up to missed calls, unread messages, a half-eaten meal on my table. One night, I found a hotel key card in my pocket. I had no idea how it got there. I wasn't even supposed to be in that part of town. It got worse. One night, I was out grabbing food when a guy walked up to me. "Hey, you good? You left in a hurry last time." I blinked. "Sorry, do I know you?" His face dropped. "You don't remember me?" I shook my head. And then he said something that made my stomach drop. "But we were together last night." Who the hell am I? Now I'm scared to sleep. I'm scared to wake up and find new evidence of the person I become when I'm not looking. Because it's not just about missing time anymore. It's about what I'm doing during it. And why I feel like, little by little, the second version of me is taking over.
I got drunk and accidentally bought. What? I've made a lot of bad drunk decisions. Texting my ex. Done it. Ordering way too much food. Falling asleep in the bathtub. More times than I'd like to admit. But this time I outdid myself. Because I woke up with a confirmation email for a purchase I did not remember making. And when I saw what I bought, I nearly had a heart attack. I woke up with the worst hangover ever. Head pounding, mouth dry, phone buzzing like crazy. I reached for it, expecting some embarrassing texts. Instead, I saw a "thank you for your purchase" email. And the total, $7,800. $7,100. I shot up so fast I almost passed out again. What the actual F***ck did I buy? I opened the email, and there it was. An adult-sized bouncy castle. Not just any bouncy castle. A custom, glow-in-the-dark, Vegas-themed, wedding party edition bouncy castle, with my name embroidered on it. *CK. I started frantically texting my friends. Me. Guys, WTF did I do last night? Bestie number 1. LMAO, you don't remember? Bestie number 2. You literally screamed. I deserve to bounce like a queen, and ordered it. Blink. Then I scrolled through my photos. Sure enough, there I was. Drunk as hell, holding my phone, yelling "buy it now" while my friends cheered. The worst part. It was non-refundable. Oh, and guess what? It was being delivered in 3 days. I called the company, begged them to cancel. They said nope. I tried selling it online. No one wanted a used, personalized bouncy castle. I considered keeping it. Until I realized I live in a tiny apartment. So what did I do? I threw a massive bouncy castle party in my friend's backyard. And now, every time someone gets too drunk, they say, "At least I didn't buy a F***king bouncy castle." 'Cause I set the standard. My boyfriend keeps nudes of his exes. And won't let me delete them. I'm not a jealous person. I know people have pasts. And I don't expect my boyfriend to erase his entire dating history just because we're together. But when I found out he was keeping nudes of his exes, and when he told me I wasn't allowed to delete them, that's when I realized this relationship might be F***ed. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. We were watching a movie on his laptop when he got up to grab food. His screen was still open, and a notification popped up from Google Drive. The title of the folder, Memories 2 Hearts. I don't know why, but something felt off. So I clicked, and inside, hundreds of pictures. Some were old couple pics, vacations, dates, whatever. Normal. But then, saw her, his ex, half naked. And then another one. And another. Multiple exes. And the worst part, they weren't just old pics. Some of them were recently saved. I closed the laptop, trying to stay calm. When he came back, I asked, "Why do you still have nudes of your exes?" He laughed, like it was funny. "What, you were going through my stuff? It was open." "So," he shrugged. "They're my pictures." I told him it was disrespectful to keep them while we were together. He rolled his eyes. "It's not like I'm cheating." I asked him why he needed them. He smirked. "Why do you care? I don't ask you to delete your past." I told him exes aren't the past, if you're still jerking off to them. He just shook his head. "It's my private collection. You don't have to look at it." That night when he fell asleep, I grabbed his phone. Went straight to Google Drive. I was about to delete everything when I saw a new folder. Labeled, Backup Winking Face. I wanted to scream. This man had F***king backups. Like he knew. Like he expected me to try. Like he planned for it. That's when I realized. He was never going to stop. The next morning I packed my tea and left. No explanations. No fights. Just gone. Called. Texted. Said I was overreacting. That it was just pictures. But to me, it wasn't just pictures. It was disrespect. And I'm not about to compete with a Google Drive full of ghosts.